Welcome to a very special episode of All Talk FC. We've got our first guest. Oi! Arsenal are back to the Kings of London. Oi! The Sheffield United have lost their manager. Boo! Mark's got a lovely game for us, and we'll have all our regular fun. Let's go! So I don't know about you guys. I always thought we'd have a guest one day. Obviously, it's our mate, so I don't know if it's an extra special guest, but I've always thought about what my very first question would be because I wanted to have a lot of insight. I wanted to kind of give them a springboard to kind of express how they feel. So I've thought about this question a lot. So Rory Duffy, you all right?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me, guys.
Lovely. So for those that don't know, look, a lot of you will know who Rory Duffy is because you've not only have you heard him or about him on this podcast, you may have seen him at the UK Open Darts Championship.
That's right. This is our first sports personality on our pod.
Yeah.
In the loosest sense of the word, yes.
I think he won the BBC Worst Sports Personality of the Year award.
2015, yes.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know on Sky Sports when they have that random pundit and below it's like made 2 appearances in the FIFA Under-17 Youth World Tournament.
That's me.
If this goes on YouTube, we've got to create one of those, Mark.
Yeah.
Just put it underneath Rory's picture.
4 times participant, UK Open.
Perfect. Well, that's 4 more than any of us. So
Fair play.
made the list, made the cut.
So was that the question, Chris?
Well, yeah. I mean, you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Didn't actually watch that much football this weekend, which
That's
is good preparation for a podcast of this nature.
It's about right, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm good.
Right. So no. Well, I'm hoping you watch at least one game, and that was Arsenal reclaiming their situation at the top of London, or at least North London. Did you watch that game?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Lovely. I don't know. You tend to. So just to give a bit of background, as I'm sure at least Danny and Mark knows, you're a lifelong Arsenal supporter. I think you're like 3rd generation season tickets. So would say you're a pretty serious, impassioned fan, right?
Yeah.
Now, you've got a lot of opinions about the Arsenal. For me, coming into this weekend, or at least from the result this weekend, this season hasn't really given us a lot to be excited about. So this win at least, and it's good to have you on this podcast, this one's for the fans, I think. I think it's just, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I don't care how controversial the penalty was. I'm just fucking happy we did it. So what do you reckon?
Yeah, same. I have a lot of strong opinions about Arsenal this season. I have a lot of strong opinions about Mikel Arteta.
In or out?
For me, I mean, I don't know if you can say out after a North London derby win. I don't know.
And he can.
I don't really know if you can. But what I do think is, I think Arteta's very indicative of like the modern football fan. You know, he came in, he'd never managed a game in his life. Actually, I think he'd managed one game in his life, a Man City Champions League game where Guardiola had been suspended, had like a touchline ban. So Mikel Arteta had taken charge and he lost that game. I think it was in the group stage either last year or the year before. Anyway, he came in with no real pedigree other than, well, Pep Guardiola seems to think he's half decent, so he must be good. But how many times throughout the years have we seen good assistants? Carlos Queiroz, Steve McLaren, who have sat next to the likes of Ferguson or the likes of Mourinho, and then they go on and get their first big job in football and either flop or are just quite unremarkable. I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen to Arteta, but I think that the way anybody shouts people down the second they criticise anything Mikel Arteta does, I don't know. It's very strange. I'd like to have seen the same amount of time and sort of passionate backing given to Unai Emery.
Take into context the way this season's going to be an Arsenal fan. What does a win like this do for you, though?
Yeah, I mean, you never say no to a win against Tottenham, do you? It's a great win. And any win, I don't care whether it's a 1-0, whether it's a 5-0, whether it's a deflected goal off the corner flag and both posts. A win against Tottenham is always a good thing. I just don't think that means that all is well on the good ship Arsenal, and I don't think it means everything's fixed. I think there's massive problems, there's massive issues, there's massive improvements that have to be made. And I think the only people that can actually see and acknowledge that tend to be fans of other teams. I don't know what you two guys think.
Danny,
Yeah.
you're our resident European scout. You've probably known Odegaard for a long time. Is he the truth?
I mean, I've liked Odegaard a long time. You know that. I bought him on FI.
You do like young boys, so.
He never plays for them, but he was quality at Real Sociedad last year. He was real quality. Like at one point, they were saying he's playing the best in the league. It's just he blows hot and cold, but when he blows hot, he's quality, and he seems to fit the system. So
Dan, you really like the way Odegaard blows, yeah?
Yeah, something like that, like the wind. But my question about Arteta was going to be: is Arteta going to have a better managerial career than Gerrard or not?
No.
Well, I mean, come on, like.
Oh, Gerrard has just won Rangers.
Yeah.
FC's first ever.
Like, could you have asked that like a year ago or something? For goodness sake?
I'm talking about a career. Yeah, all right, he's gone and won Rangers. And I'm sure if Arteta went to Scotland, he could probably win a title too. But maybe. But
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, that was. They were talking about the 10 in a row Celtic like it was an absolute foregone conclusion. And I don't know how much any of you guys have watched Rangers this year. They've actually been really good. And in Europe as well. Like
Farmers.
They have been good in Europe. Oh, it's been really fun in Europe to watch.
Yeah.
Their games are ridiculous.
Rory, we rank La Liga as farmers. So imagine us trying to watch the Scottish League.
I think if you rank La Liga as farmers, you'd probably spontaneously combust. The second you had to watch Kilmarnock against St Mirren on a Sunday morning.
Fucking hell, yeah. In the snow.
I don't know. I don't think Messi could do it in Kilmarnock on a Tuesday.
No.
Although I will be interested. I will watch the Old Firm this weekend because it'd be curious if Celtic give a guard of honour because Rangers refused to do it last year.
They can't then, surely.
If that's the case, then they're not.
They'll take the high ground. They could take the high ground and say, look, we're a classier club, which I hope they go down that route.
What I will say is that is the most. It may, regardless of what you think about the Scottish League, that is the most toxic rivalry in apps. I mean, I'm part of a group on Facebook called like Football Stadia and Grounds, and it's literally just people sharing pictures of like nice football grounds. And Celtic and Rangers stadiums are actually banned on there because just people can't just have a normal. They can't even. They're the only fans that can't actually interact with each other.
Yeah,
that I've come across. It's just so toxic.
I'm trying to think who. There was a Glaswegian guy I met at golf, and I was like, "Are you Celtic or Rangers?" And he bit my head off at asking the question because if you're not involved in it's not seen as a nice rivalry up there.
No, and also they're hated by the other, like every other team in Scotland seems to just absolutely hate them because their whole league is just basically based around the Old Firm and their rivalry and you know. It's actually a surprise when a player comes through that's never played for either of them, like an Andy Robertson, who's never played for Celtic or Rangers. People act really surprised when he comes through because he's not, you know, there is a whole football pyramid there that doesn't involve Rangers and Celtic, which, yeah.
I do wonder what is the biggest football rivalry in the world. They talk a lot about, is it River Plate and Boca?
River and Boca, yeah.
They talk about that as being the big... Like the biggest start, like they literally will kill each other. Their fans murder each other.
Yeah.
I wonder if that is the biggest.
I swear there's one in oh god, I swear there's one where there's like every year someone dies or something like this.
Yeah, that's
it's that.
Yeah?
It's River and Boca, isn't it?
Yeah, that's River and Boca. I mean, the thing with River and Boca is their fans will happily join together for like the Argentinian national team. I mean, it is a great rivalry. But then a little bit of trivia. There's actually 13 teams in the top two divisions in Argentina based in Buenos Aires. So there's, I mean, like, for example, there's a massive rivalry between Independiente and Estudiantes. And there's another huge rivalry between Rosario Central and Newell's Old Boys, which is in the city of Rosario as well. So South American rivalries just tend to be quite impassioned anyway. But
Just nuts, aren't they?
You've really done your studying. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
fucking hell, mate. Making
no,
us look
We were
like-
last week. We were struggling to find out where Accrington, Sterling, and Gillingham is. He's telling us where these fucking cities in Brazil are. Jesus.
well,
Christ.
no, Argentina, not Brazil.
Oh well.
Get it right, Chris.
It's all the
Fucking hell.
same, innit?
Just because he's wearing a Brazil top.
It's 'cause I'm wearing a Brazil
potato.
jacket.
Fairness, I bet Rory's geography of South America is better than north of England. I bet if he did that.
Yeah, do you know where
like-
Accrington? Do you know where
I feel-
Accrington is, Rory?
Yeah, I feel like that was
yeah,
some kind of
Accrington's
sexual
in
joke.
Accrington's in Lancashire, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, he does
Right.
listen to our pod.
Mark. So I think we said at the beginning of the season, or I did the one of our big predictions was Spurs won't finish top 8. I mean, that is looking more and more likely, isn't it? Like I'm just looking at the table now. Obviously, Man City, Man United, Leicester, Chelsea, West Ham, Everton, and then you've got Spurs at 7th with Liverpool 8th, 2 points behind. Villa with a game at hand, 41. Arsenal. Sometimes I think Arsenal look better, and all of a sudden they'll just have some stupid loss. But it's I don't know what's. It's weird. What has happened with Mourinho or Spurs as a whole? Do you think they've just tired of him?
One loss in their last 5. And you're,
What's that?
I don't think they're tired of him. To be fair, the thing that's annoying me is they go up and down, right? So they'll have their phases where Mourinho's angry and he's blaming the team and they lose loads of games in a row. And then all of a sudden they go and score 3 or 4 goals against a few teams that play shit. And everyone's like, oh, they're brilliant again. And Mourinho's a genius. They're scoring 10 goals on average. And then then they'll go back on their shitty run and he'll go back and do his moaning about whatever. And I mean, that's Mourinho. That's what he's.
It's
what
weird.
he's done.
Maybe a couple months ago, you'd say, "Oh, Son being out would be a massive loss." But the way he's been cracking on, for the last few games, is it a huge loss? Do you still think there's going to be something missing with him gone?
There will be. He's a good player. He has seemed off the ball. I always feel like sometimes good players, when they've played for a long time, they play really well, and then they start getting out of form. They tend to get injured. I don't know if it's because they've got tired or like their muscles, and then they get injured and then they come back and work their way up and then they're good again. Son's that kind of a player, I imagine. So he'll come back from injury and he'll just be flying again, probably. But he just needs a break.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. I'd also say that with Spurs, they've the way they've built that team. Spurs always, to me, you guys might disagree, but regardless of whether they're good or bad, they always seem to have a more balanced squad than most of the teams in the top 6, in the sense that you always look at Spurs and you go, have they got a holding midfielder? Yes. Have they got a ball player in the middle of the park? Yes. Have they got a striker that can put a ball in the net? Yes. Have they got 2 fast-pacey, tricky wingers? Yes. Whereas the likes of Arsenal and United are always missing one of those things. I don't know how you feel about that. I mean, Arsenal, for example, United after Fergie retired, literally didn't have a holding midfielder for so long. And then I remember Moyes went out and everyone was like, yeah, Moyes is gonna make a huge signing. And he went and got Juan Mata. Now, I love Juan Mata. And what?
And Fellaini.
And Fellaini, yeah. And then played Fellaini as like a weird pseudo target man, like just up off of Rooney and Van Persie. But Spurs always seem to have a balanced team. Like, I think Mourinho could literally just send his 11 players out and say, go and play football. And they will beat most of the weaker teams in the division because they are so well balanced.
Yeah, but then they have players that I would say are a bit more skeptical. Like Doherty, I think looked abysmal, and I don't think he's looked the part since he's been there. Højbjerg, I mean, I thought it was a weird sign when they got him already. Doesn't really hold up. I mean, when you look at players like Sissoko, Ali's definitely not the player he used to be.
No,
even if he was anything like that, I'm not a big fan of Dyer.
Oh no, I'm not.
Serge Aurier.
What I mean is
they might, but hold on, they might be players that fit certain positions, but it's the quality of those positions which kind of go up and down.
I agree, but what I more meant is, I'm not the biggest Eric Dyer fan, and I'm not the biggest Pierre-Emile Heidelberg fan. But you know what they both do. You know what you're getting from them. Whereas somebody like Danny Ceballos, for example, now he's a lovely, tidy footballer, but what does he actually do? Is he big and strong? No. Is he fast? No. Is he an exceptional passer? No. Does he beat a man? Sometimes. Does he score loads of goals? No. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but I still don't really know what he is.
He's luxury.
He
He can turn quickly.
He can turn, yeah.
I remember his debut for Arsenal. He did about 3 quick turns.
Yeah.
That was it. The hype was there. He was the greatest thing to ever come.
Was that the Burnley game? The Burnley game where he dominated it.
Yeah, and he did that. Was it him or Pepe that dropped a nutmeg in that game? And then it got replayed on Twitter for about 6 months afterwards. And no matter how bad Pepe played, it was like, yeah, but do you remember his nutmeg against Burnley?
He loves a nutmeg.
Loves a nutmeg.
Mark, I'll let you decide. Is it worth talking about the Man United game or not?
Do you know what? It was last on Match of the Day. I had it on in the background.
So you know it's
and
bad.
I didn't even watch it.
I watched it.
There was no. I know I had it was on, but I had the TV on mute, and it wasn't like, oh, there was a Greenwood chance which I was like sort of caught my attention. But that's the problem with Man U at the minute. If we don't score in like the first 10 minutes, first 15 minutes, we're in for quite a boring game. But to be honest, right now I'll take it. We just need wins. So
I don't feel near that, but I mean, the only thing I would say about that game is West Ham were terrible. West Ham for 60 minutes didn't want to win the game. Moyes did what he used to do, which is he turns up at the big teams and he doesn't know how to win, so he just tries not to lose. And it wasn't until the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes when he was like, right, okay, let's try and win this. And they probably could have done. They certainly would have scored.
We were bad. I just mean.
No, we weren't bad. We weren't bad at all. But West Ham were just literally terrible. That first half, they didn't want it at all. There was no shots on goal. They hardly got the ball out of their half. So United were just completely dominant. Missed a bunch of chances and could have put it to bed.
Where do you two stand on West Ham? Do you think they're here to stay, or do you think
Great manager.
I think they've got a good manager. They've got a decent.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do. Like Moyes is a top 8 manager. Like he gets the team in.
That's a big statement, by the way.
Hold that. We'll get into that in a second.
It's a bit weird now because you have the likes of like Everton, who would be number 7 with Ancelotti, but then and also I rate Nuno at Wolves. So
Mark,
I don't think he's the 8th best manager, but
can I stop
you?
You
give him a couple of seasons, he'll get your team in the top 8.
Me and Rory and his mate Charlie will have this big old argument on WhatsApp about the quality of Moyes. And for me, I've said that I really like Moyes. I liked him back when he was at Everton. And obviously, in between Everton and now, he's probably had some patchy spells, let's say. I think the situations he's been in have been quite difficult. But I do rate Moyes as a manager. I think he's at least a top half manager in the Premier League, if not, top 8, top 7.
I think
depending on the team. Hold on, Rory. But Rory and Charlie are going on like he's Sam Allardyce. He's someone that's battling relegation. He's the guy that's going to keep you up. I think that's doing him a disservice.
You look at the quality of the management at the minute in the Premier League. Because I was just thinking, I say he's top 8. And I was like, well, actually, on paper, he's probably the 12th or 13th best manager in the league. Because you start looking at like Everton's got a good manager, Leicester, supposedly Leeds, Wolves. Like, you start looking at
Bielsa's a fraud.
Whoa.
Yeah, Chris is
anti-Bielsa.
It's absolutely gonna kill Chris when Leeds finish above Arsenal this season.
Yeah.
And then
Chris is proper Brexit when it comes to his football opinions. He likes Moyes but doesn't rate Bielsa.
No, but like with Moyes, you look, if you give him a couple seasons, he'll get the team in the top half. And you look at now like West Ham are 5th. And you look at the company he's keeping up at the top half of the table, and you're like, you got to give him credit. Everyone's quick to jump on his back. Like the United job was always a curse, like chalice, whatever.
Sunderland say.
Yeah. So Sunderland's a cursed club. Even Big Sam struggled there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So yeah, I think Moyes is better than. He's just not. Unfortunately, he's not fashionable. Like I bet if you went to most football fans under the age of 35. They would rate Arteta miles ahead of Moyes.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, if his name was Moydici, he probably would be a big.
Or David Moyes.
David Moyes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do think he's a good manager. I think West Ham and where they're at now is probably, it's about where we should be. But that's still good as a Premier League manager. That's all. Do you know what I mean?
I love the centre mid that they got from Slavia Prague as well. Suchek. He looks decent.
And Kufal. They got him and Kufal together, didn't they? Great sign.
Yeah. I mean, they've got. I'm a big, but I don't know about you guys. I'm a big believer that management does play a part, but I do ultimately think that players win you games and therefore win you championships.
Do you know what, Rory? You know, we obviously know each other where we follow a lot of sports, and I think some sports you can say that. I think basketball, for instance, the NBA, I think that's all about the players. I think coaching is maybe about substitutions at the right time. Football, for me, there are so many players that are quality that come in and out of the Premier League. I mean, Payet used to play for them, and Mustard, like he was quality.
Oh yeah, outrageous.
You have players that have pure quality, but to carry and quality players can win you any given game. But to go an entire season and be in the top half of the Premier League, that says something. And to be in the top four, and that is where managers go from being okay managers, keeping you out of relegation, and actually being a team that you're confident putting a bet on the weekend and then accumulate thinking, oh, they'll have this one. Like, that's where the difference is.
Rory, can you imagine a few years ago, thinking any average Joe manager winning the league with midfield of like Milner, Henderson, people like Matic? There's just no chance. Right?
No.
Liverpool won because of Klopp, not because they got the greatest. You wouldn't put any of those players in the greatest team of all time.
But then I would say that the chemistry that front three had, and the way
absolutely. And Salah obviously was a special player, and he is.
Mane's a special player.
Salah is very
one at a time.
Salah will never, like, he never gets entered in the conversation of one of the best Premier League players. So
but he should.
No,
he will eventually. He will when he goes. I think at the moment he doesn't, but he will.
How old is he?
No, but
28, maybe.
So he could still potentially get better, depending on what age you think.
I think he's like 29, but
See,
I think the thing. Hold on, Rory. I think the thing with Salah is he's kind of like, it's a difference between a Ronaldo and a Ronaldinho. Like, is it the one season or two seasons where he was quality, or is it over a period of time? He hasn't really produced it year in, year out for me to the point where you can start saying Salah's one of the best players in the Premier League. There's so many players.
3 years in a row now.
Yeah, this is his fourth year.
Fourth year of quality. So you're saying this season he's the Salah that's been like that for the last 2 or 3 seasons?
No, but you're basing it off that he broke records. You can't be like, if you broke the record of all time, Ronaldo's record of all people, you can't then judge him on that level. If you don't hit that every time, you're not good enough. Like, he's still the top goal scorer in the Premier League right now, isn't he?
But Dan, that's what you're saying. I mean, we even said last week, and we said last season, that it would be ridiculous if we considered this Liverpool team one of the best teams, if not the best team in the Premier League, based on the records that they broke. Fair enough, he had a good season. He had an amazing season. And for that one season, he was the best player in the league, probably not in the world. But we're talking about a player that's going to be up in the standings of Ronaldo. Even Rooney, Jesus Christ, what the hell is his old name? Henry.
If he does it for another 3 years, then absolutely, right. He's done it for 3 years. He's had a couple of amazing seasons, one good season. This one's not going so well, but he's still scoring plenty of goals. If any player scoring 25 goals plus for 4 or 5 years in a row is outstanding in the Premier League.
Mark, do you buy into Carragher's thing that he thinks Mane is a better player and more important than Salah to
I just think it's purely. I think Salah's underrated. I don't know if it's the way he carries himself or whatever. And the way Mane is, he always plays with a smile. He seems an honest player. Like, I think a lot of people say Mane's better, and I feel like it's a character judgment as much as a football one. Like,
probably he's more unselfish.
Yeah. Can I just say something about Mane?
Go on then.
I used to think exactly the same as what Mark just said there, and then Arsenal played Liverpool. And you was there, Chris. We went to the game. And genuinely, Mane's shithousery shocked me. The most out. If you look at that Liverpool team and you mention a shithouse in that Liverpool team, you'd maybe say somebody like Robertson. You'd possibly say one of the midfield three.
Endo, for sure.
Mane was like especially the section where we sit. Everybody around us wanted to kill him after about 20 minutes. And I was really surprised that if somebody said to me before that game, name a shithouse on the Liverpool team, Mane wouldn't have even been in my top 10 or 5. But yeah,
he probably just angry about his hairline.
That's a dreadful hairline.
We're talking about managers. Obviously, Chris Wilder's gone now. Instantly, I thought it was just one of those ones where it can't be clearly results-based. It had to be something to do with a disagreement in the back. Or
how can it not be results-based?
Because
they've got one of the worst records of all time in the league.
Sure. Yeah, but if you put it in the context of the season that they've had last season in the Premier League, what he's done up to this point, and just the fact that I don't think for Sheffield United it's a given that they're going to be in the Premier League. Fair enough, the results for this season are bad, but given what he's done up to this point, and I think some of the information that's come out is that it was the fact that Chris Wilder's just not happy with the backing of, what's his name, Prince Abdullah? Is that his name?
Like that. Well, that's probably true, but I also think. Go on, Mark.
I was going to say it was a weird story because they're like, oh, he's been angry for months. He's never got back in. Chris Wilder had to force through the Brewster deal, but then he doesn't play Brewster.
Well, I've heard it was something to do with Brewster,
And I thought
why he got sacked.
Yeah, I was like, they're saying he had to fight for months and months to get Brewster, and then it was like, but you never started.
It could have probably got him and realised it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, so maybe they were right.
I tell you what, Klopp and Liverpool are the masters of selling on cheap shit, like young. What was the one they sold to Bournemouth?
Solanke. Was it
Solanke?
Solanke?
Like 30 million, and how do they get away with it? Ridiculous.
I don't know. I'm sure that teams do buy into hype around players. Like
Chelsea as well, isn't it? They have about 50 players on loan every year.
Yeah, but Chelsea don't seem to do it as well. Chelsea aren't selling them for 30 million and it turns out they're shit. Like, Liverpool properly just going, 30 million, yeah. And they're just dog shit.
You probably would have labelled that about Bamford a few years back, and now he's proved himself as a Premier League striker.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just need a good manager.
But do you remember they went through a stage of just overhyping South Americans about 8 or 9 years ago?
No, that Messi, man, he's overrated.
No, like I remember like Lucas Biglia at one point was like the next big thing. He was going to come to Europe and be like the next Zinedine Zidane. And like, I think he's currently sat on the bench for Lazio.
So Dan, you think that the Chris Wilder thing, I wouldn't say dismissal because it's a mutual parting. You think that's justified?
I think he deserved to see out the season and he deserved probably a shot at getting back because of what he'd done. But I also think that managerial, like it goes in cycles, these managerial things. And I think
it's a carousel, isn't it? Or around the
no, but you get to a point, and it reminds me of Poch with Spurs a little bit, in that you get to a point where even though you've earned all of that good work, you get to a point where you've clearly lost the love of it, you've lost the team, things aren't going anywhere. What on earth can he possibly do to turn that around next season from where they're going to be, which is a team that will have one of the worst records, but just be used to losing? If he's having arguments about players, like what on earth is he going to do next season? So sometimes I think change just is needed for everyone, all parties, and it feels a bit like this with Wilder.
Do you think? Do any of you think he exceeded his level? Do you think that he should get another opportunity in the Premier League?
I know he deserves it. He took them over. What were they like? League One.
Three promotions in a row.
I think they were like 9th or 10th in League One. I think when he took them over.
What I will say is that they should never have been in League One in the first place. Like with their relegation the year before, and then, or not even a year before. I think they were down for 2 or 3 years, and it was becoming like a bit of a farce. The fact that they had a bit like Ipswich now. Like Ipswich aren't going to go up from League One this season. And it's a bit of a farce. They've spent more money than everybody. They've got Paul Lambert as their manager. They've got all of these highly rated players. And they're like sitting 12th in League One. And it was a bit like that. So I think the initial promotion out of League One, because I mean, he did a really good, Wilder did a really good job at Northampton as well. He then went back to Sheffield. He was a Sheffield lad. He loves Sheffield United. That's his team. The initial promotion out of League One was kind of expected. And then he just kind of piggybacked off that momentum that then took them up again straight away. So
it was a season, they were in the middle of the championship, and then they went up.
Oh right, okay. There was a season in between. Okay, fair enough.
But what he did in the Premier League last year was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Funny enough, when they came up, everyone thought this was going to happen last year, so everyone assumed this would be Sheffield United last year, and they've just kind of reverted to type, where what we all expected to be the winning.
Do you think they just got found out? You can't really have overlapping centre backs and have that last.
I love that though. You know what? That's why he deserves another job, just for that.
They just lost the best goalkeeper in the league. Shows how much. They say a good goalie's worth 11 points.
Yeah. Do you know what? Dean Henderson was amazing to them last season, though.
And it's not just that they lost Dean Henderson. It's just the crap they replaced him with. Ramsdale.
If you're going to get if you're going to get a relegated keeper, all right, come on.
It also, what struck me when I watched Sheffield United last season is they are the physically biggest Premier League team I've ever seen. They were massive. Like Fleck looked like a child around the other players. Just their three centre backs were huge. Their I can't remember how we got on against them last season. I think it was maybe a 1-1 draw, maybe a 2-2 draw. I think it was a 1-1 draw. It was one of Arteta's first games or one of Emery's last games. But they were old school lower league, not in terms of the overlapping centre backs, obviously, but in terms of the size of them. Like they were all 6-footers. And
well, they were still a League One team. They're still the same. The same
exactly.
team that came up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I thought he was a bit harsh, but there you go. Do you know what? I know we tried to keep it pretty light on here, but I did want to talk about one point. Was Louis Zaha not taking the knee at the beginning of the West Brom game, and
I missed that.
Well, he's decided to stay standing. Not simply, he put out a statement, but it was basically all taking a knee now has become a bit of a routine, pre-match routine, and it doesn't really have much substance. And the only reason I wanted to bring it up is because, whatever I want to say or think about them taking a knee for their thoughts and ideas about how society is, I do like the fact that at least Zaha's actually looked at it and think, do you know what, this is also become kind of like a means to nothing. It doesn't really do anything. And I actually thought as well, I don't know if you'll probably disagree with this, but I thought the only reason the Premier League probably has gotten away with it so far up to this point is because there's been no fans. I feel like as soon as there's fans in the stadiums, for some reason, I just feel like they wouldn't be able to get away with it because there'd be such a mixed furore of emotions and kind of, oh, fuck yeah. You think you're going to go to Chelsea and they're going to be like taking me for There's absolutely no way. You think they'll go to Spurs and they'll be like, oh,
I think they'll be all right at Spurs.
They'll be all right at Spurs. They wouldn't say boo to a goose at Spurs.
Yeah, same as Arsenal. I think
Arsenal will be fine. But you go to Millwall.
No, you go to Chelsea and you're in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You don't have to comment if you don't want, but I'm just thinking like, I at least appreciate him seeing it now, for the first few times in a world where there's too much protest, now it's just become this thing where you can say you're a part of it, but you're not actually doing much. And he's actually standing up.
It's actually harder now to say you're not part of it. I'd say 90% of those footballers are doing it because they're just told we're taking a knee a minute before the game. All right. I don't want the hassle of being the one who stands up where Zaha's
in other sports though, some stand and some kneel, right? There's been all sorts of mix, where it's just football where everyone has to kneel.
Myers Leonard did it, and then he kind of got fucked for saying some Jewish racial slurs. So if you're connected to someone that stands, it's probably not the best place to be.
I like Wilf Zaha. He seems like whenever he speaks, whenever you hear him interviewed, he seems like a thoughtful and intelligent individual. Now I know that we shouldn't be shocked that because it's a bit of a stereotype that footballers maybe aren't the brightest.
Wilf Zaha. I thought you was going to say Palace players.
Yeah, no, Wilf Zaha always comes across as a thoughtful guy. He's intelligent. If he doesn't want to do it, then good on him. His
only mistake was shagging David Moyes' daughter.
Yeah, yeah. Ask see Patrice Evra for more details.
Maybe me. Do you want to talk about your League One teams?
Yes.
Do you know
have you seen how good Gillingham are?
Rory, we decided a few weeks ago that where we weren't having a good time watching the Premier League. So we did a random generator and we all picked a League One team. So I got Accrington Stanley, Danny got Gillingham, and Mark got Fleetwood Town. And
we had the All Talk Derby last week, actually.
The All Talk other Derby. I think it was Gillingham versus Fleetwood. That was 1-1, wasn't it?
1-0. We got it robbed. Absolutely robbed.
Accrington Stanley, they were so close to kind of like the promotion playoffs, and they just want to throw it away. They can't win. They can't do anything. They're just drawing and losers, killing me. Gillingham fucking flying, unbelievable.
Yeah, catching it. 4 points behind Ipswich now.
Gillingham are a massively experienced team at that level as well. They're always.
All Gillingham do is stay mid-table in League One for 107 years. That's all they do.
Yeah,
so they get lead as soon as they get too high, and then they put the armbands on when they get a bit low, and then they're off again. Yeah. That's all they do is stay mid-table.
I was just frustrated that bloody Cameron Jerome just smashing
legend.
Bloody legend of the game over here, just killing us.
Where is he?
He's at MK Dons.
Oh yeah, I hope none of you have got MK Dons.
No.
It was random. We had no choice.
Yeah.
No, I'd be pretty disappointed if I got MK Dons.
Yeah.
I want to keep
history. Somehow all three of us have just got dead in the water mid-table teams. No relegation, no promotion.
We're actually all near each other. I just realised Atkinson and Gillingham are on the same points, and Fleetwood are only 3 points behind.
Yeah, but that wasn't the case for me when I first got. I think Accrington Stanley was 6, and then since then they've gone lost 3 games, won 1, drawn 1. Like it's like I'm a curse or something. Curse of the Arsenal fan. Don't know.
So
in fact, Fleetwood have a similar kit to Arsenal. They've got white sleeves and a red shirt as well.
Yeah. Don't know about it.
I know you said Mane's shithousery, but he could have got a penalty, but he stayed on his feet and never got it.
So, when was this?
Just now.
Just now.
Do you know what?
I know VAR's looking at it. So quick, one-word answer, Rory. The reason we picked League One teams is because we think top-level football's now just dead. It's shit. VAR's killed it. Referees have killed it. The no fans is... And for me, fixture congestion. There's just too many games.
Oh, I agree with you completely.
Do you agree? It's football dead.
Football's not dead, but football is certainly on a life support machine at the minute.
For me, there's only one thing that's going to fix it, and that's when it comes home in June.
I agree. I agree that way. I don't know how
that will bring it
only
back.
if we win from a VAR decision in the 90th minute. That's how it will come home.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know how you felt about the Lacazette penalty, but it's got to the point now where fans don't even care about if it's their team or not. You're just sick of it's like, there's contact. It doesn't even matter who initiates the contact, when the contact is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, super slow motion. You're like,
I actually think that was far less contentious than some things have been.
But the only thing I'd say about the Lacazette one is it wasn't VAR. It was the ref. So VAR couldn't overturn it. So in my mind, that's a good thing because I don't want VAR overturning decisions. But
what I will say is you could do a whole episode on why football is not as good now as it was. I mean, football peaked for me a few times in my life, but the 2014 World Cup was my favourite international tournament.
No,
as in not including England. I'm taking England out of it.
That was not good.
But in terms of like every game, like do you remember the Holland-Spain game?
Just about the Van Persie
there was so many good games in that World Cup. Another time is obviously during 2018 when it nearly came home.
Where was 14 again?
14 was Brazil. Oh,
Brazil, yeah.
Very thematic.
I was thinking 2010 was the year the football ruined it, wasn't it? The old.
Well, they blame
the Jabulani.
The Jabulani.
Yeah.
They
Only
blamed
Diego
it on
Forlan could kick it.
And
do you
remember the sound of the vuvuzelas as well?
Yeah.
Punctuating every single game. Yeah, and every game seemed to be 1-0.
Yeah, but I have to say though, the South African games were so much fun. I watching them; they were quality, and they scored some bangers as well.
The fact the vuvuzelas never caught on.
Well, they banned them. That's why.
Yeah. Means I actually like looking back because when you watch highlights of a 2010 game, you're like, it's so iconic, that noise.
Yeah, you know that noise. Yeah.
But do you remember the first time they saw the spray? You know the spray that they use to mark out where the wall goes.
Yeah.
So
spray.
I was at the first Arsenal game of the season after the 2014 World
Used to get
Cup.
such a cheer, didn't it?
And everyone went mad when he pulled out his little spray can. But yeah.
They were like the refs have this magic spray, and then you realise it's just Gillette shaving.
It's just Gillette shaving foam, yeah. But yeah, so football since then, obviously we all love football. We've all grown up around it. It's our national sport, but I think we can all agree it's just pretty shit at the minute. I don't know anybody that isn't a bit disenfranchised with it.
Right, good promotion for our pod then. Should we do the results league?
Do we have to?
Yeah, unfortunately. So, Rory, just to give you a bit of background, each week we pick a fixture within the league to basically win, and we got some points based on it. I'll share my screen, actually. That'd be useful. Look at that, Rory. It's a nice little spreadsheet. We've got all of these games that we go through. This is our list of teams that we need to pick, and we lose. You can only pick a team a maximum of twice.
Did Danny do this spreadsheet or did Mark?
That was Mark.
Mark's
I knew it weren't you.
Yeah. And then we basically get points. You get 1 point for win, 3 points for correct fixture, and if you pick an away fixture for the team to win, you get an extra bonus point. So this weekend, Mark, you still need to listen back to see what you got. Otherwise, you're just going to have a blank week there. So last week, I picked Burnley to beat Everton 1-0 away from home, which was good. 1-0 for
That's
me.
a massive shout, actually. How did you call that?
Yeah, Everton won the slope, I thought. So I was like, all right, give it a go. Danny, you was not a believer and said Spurs were going to beat Arsenal away.
In my defence, I needed Arsenal to lose. I hadn't picked them yet this season. It felt like a good opportunity.
Probably, but not this time round. So that was a great win for us. You got nil point. Mark picked Aston Villa to beat Newcastle 2-0. That was a draw, 1-1.
Yeah,
strange one. That I would have thought beforehand you would have had that one, which is a bit of a shame. But
they should have done, other than the 90-something minute when the Lascelles got that header. They should have done.
Yeah. Sheffield United. Do you know what? I didn't know Chris Wilder was leaving at that time, but when I actually saw Chris Wilder leaving, I thought, when a team loses their manager and
then they have a bounce.
Yeah, they did the exact opposite, and they lost 5-0 to Leicester City. So definitely no points there.
Do you know, I read a stat that they hadn't been beaten 5-0 in their whole 2 years in the Premier League. And the first one that he goes, they get tanked.
Yeah, that makes sense. But there you go.
Leicester love a game like that, though. They love battering teams. So.
They're a great team, aren't they?
They're really good at doing that, though, isn't it? Really good at giving a team a good old spanking.
They're ruthless. They're ruthless.
Just because Jamie Vardy is just like, I'm just going to beat as many people as possible, as much as I can, and just keep running tired. Like
he's got 12 goals and 12 assists this season, Jamie Vardy, in the Premier League.
He's outrageous.
Yeah.
He's really, really good. He's not bad. Hope he plays for England soon.
Me too.
West Ham and United, Danny and Mark both picked that as a fixture. Danny is, Rory, you need to know one thing about Danny. He is the least Man United fan. Like,
I hadn't picked them to lose all season.
He doesn't like them. He's not a big fan of them. Mark is doing something else, but he would concur with me.
But is it probably not that he's seen it all before? So you could be a pessimistic fan. So
I looked at that fixture, and one, I had to pick Man United to lose. I haven't picked them to lose all season because I'm a supporter of them. I have to pick them at some point. And I looked at that fixture and thought West Ham are in form. I thought they could do it, but no, I'm glad they didn't.
He actively roots against them. So Man United, Mark is a Man United fan and actually picked them to beat 4-1, unbelievably, but he just gets the 1 point for a home fixture. Danny has been flying away this season. He's got 38. Me and Mark are battling out for second and third, and I'm currently just edging ahead against him.
Is there money on this, by the way?
No, not
just pride. Who won it last? Did I win it last year?
I think you might have. Well, Mark had a really good season last year, so I'm not sure if he did.
What? Sorry.
He's been on mute for the last 2 minutes, just listening.
I've been trying to listen to the old pods to see who I picked.
No chance.
Next week there are 4 massive fixtures for us to choose from. So, does anyone want to go first? Because I've not had a look at this.
Yeah, I've got mine.
Oh, lovely. Go for it.
So I'm going to go for a standard home win. I think Brighton are going to beat Newcastle. And they're looking pretty good again, Brighton. They're finally putting the ball in the net. So I'm going to go for Brighton to beat Newcastle 2-0.
Brighton to beat... Oh, let me spell this out. I'm doing a terrible job. Brighton to beat Newcastle 2-0.
Yep.
Lovely. Mark, have you got one?
Go back to the other screen quickly.
Yep.
The problem is I could end up getting myself in trouble here, depending on who I...
Yeah, you got a lot of teams to pick to lose.
I'm going to go for my one. I'm going to pick Leeds away from home to beat Fulham, and I'm going to go for... Do you know what? It depends. If they play Josh Meyer, I feel like they've got a chance of getting a goal. If they don't, they're just going to get 0. But
You guys all laughed at me weeks ago, and I was telling you Fulham were coming. I was telling you they just weren't
a
losing.
few weeks ago,
they
drew 4 games in a row, and you said, "Oh, they're starting to come up now." No.
Yeah, you could see it. You could see they were starting to put it together, and they were looking good defensively.
It's another manager that I rate higher than Arteta, by the way, Scott Parker. I think he's done it.
What are you on about? Honestly,
look at what he's working with.
Stupid. Now you're just being stupid.
He is working with shit.
He's working with a championship squad, and at least he's won something. Like he got Fulham promoted. I know Arteta won a cup, but that was a COVID.
That's true. He won the FA Cup. You're giving him so much shit. He won the FA Cup.
Have I spelled Brighton wrong? What's wrong with this stupid spreadsheet?
No, you spelled it right.
You've probably got a space after the word.
I do indeed. Well done. Go on, Mark. Finish it.
All right. So my blank fixture was Wolves to win 2-1.
Oh, I bet it was.
And who did they play?
Was that Newcastle?
Aston Villa.
All right. So that was what that blank one was.
All right.
Wait, what week was it? Week 25.
No,
Wolves played Leeds. They drew with Newcastle as well.
I need.
I
know you can hear it.
Newcastle to lose. Wolves are away to Newcastle.
So
you've gone on
He's
mute.
put
Mark.
himself on mute.
That's all right. It was Wolves Newcastle.
1-1 anyway. So I didn't get it.
1-1.
It was Wolves Newcastle.
All right.
Which makes my because what I didn't want to do is pick someone this week and end up being out of. So I've got Leeds to I got to pick Leeds to win. So like you, Chris, I'm going to go Leeds to beat Fulham.
Oh, for goodness sake!
But I have more faith in Leeds than you, so I'm going to go 3-0.
3-0. Right. Are you allowed to do that? That's ridiculous.
Why not?
I don't know. I feel like it's just a little bit unfair, but.
Why?
I know Fulham are going in my acca now. If you all pick Fulham to win, it's just sod's law that they'll if you all pick them to lose, that they'll end up
end up winning.
Literally 4 games this week.
Lovely. We also have something called, just so you know, we have the Champions League draft. We've had half the fixtures. We've got the rest tomorrow. Danny, look, Juventus.
I know. Fucking you, though.
Look, I know Porto didn't get the win, but can I get credit for bringing them in?
Absolutely.
Yeah, big shout.
I heard that when I was listening to last week's pod, and I heard the ridicule that you received, Mark, for picking Porto. So I'd like to extend my congratulations as well, because that was an unbelievable shout.
They got through on a rule I absolutely hate, which is
away goals.
Away goals still count in extra time. Not the away goals in general, but the fact that once you go to extra time.
I was going to say,
do you remember Liverpool got locked out of the? Remember the year Atletico Madrid beat Fulham in the Europa League final?
Yeah.
Roy Hodgson.
Liverpool got knocked out in the semis on that rule, and ever since that happened, I thought it was stupid. And it's even stupider with no fans in the ground.
I just want to say something. I saw something this week where there was another football podcast saying that there's no chance that Liverpool could. There's no team that are going to do as bad as Liverpool in the league and win the Champions League. But I thought, surely if there's any one team that can perform one way in the Premier League and actually do well in the Champions League, it's Liverpool more than anyone else. They just seem to be able to do it in this particular.
They used to do it in the past, didn't they? They used to finish weeks and win the Champions League all the time.
That'd be something.
But also, everyone's watched football long enough to know that form can change on 2 or 3 results. So because Liverpool are crap now, it doesn't mean they're going to be crap in 2 months' time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they clearly got past Leipzig very easily. Leipzig they're a good outfit. So,
Mark, you've got a game for us.
Yeah. Do you want to be involved, Rory?
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Nice.
Right.
Danny might have a chance now.
So, this is the old game where of guess who the player is based on these clubs. You're going to take it in turns. I did have it split. There was 3 players each. I had 3 Arsenal players, 3 Tottenham players, and I was going to say Danny and Chris, you could pick. Well, I presume Chris, you can be Tottenham. Danny, you can be Arsenal. Rory, you're going to have a mix, so you don't know, but it'll be one of the 2. I'll tell you when they play. Essentially, I'm going to list the name of clubs they played for, and then you just say who that player is.
We don't get years.
And they played for
I won't
Spurs.
tell you the years. I'll just tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you the clubs they played for.
And my one played for Spurs, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What a game this is.
So before I start, I was going to mix the order up. Do you want me to say an order of which they went to the club or any order?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's got to do the order.
In order.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I'm writing it down. I'm in this.
So Chris, you're up first.
All right.
You're Tottenham. So
We ain't Tottenham.
So this player started his career at Metz, spent some time at Newcastle on loan, Fulham, Manchester United, Everton, Tottenham, Sunderland, and finished his career at Lazio.
Oh, dearie me. Can you say that again, please?
So he started his career at Metz.
Slow it down, yeah. Metz.
Spent some time on loan at Newcastle, played for Fulham, Manchester United, Everton, Tottenham, Sunderland, and then finished his career at Lazio.
Is it?
Hard.
I know it's difficult. The only name I've got in my head that's so wrong is it Eric Jemba?
Incorrect.
Hold on.
Normally I'd pass it over, but I don't know how to pass it over to two people.
Well, whoever shouts first, maybe.
Yeah.
Or just let us both have a guess.
Yeah.
Well, all right, Danny, you go first, and then I'll try.
I thought I would have got it with the Man United one, but I just couldn't get it.
Metz. You'd think he was French then if he started there.
The issue with the French players is that so many of them were born in France and then represent another country.
Yeah. Newcastle, Fulham.
There's a time limit on the passing over.
Newcastle, Fulham, United, Everton, Spurs, Sunderland, and Lazio. Fucking hell, that is a serious career.
Mark, with these two, it's going to take friggin'
Yeah, I'm going to tie it.
I don't know. Roll Fox. I don't know.
What was the name of the Romanian centre-back that they had?
Do you expect me to?
Because I know it's not right, but I'm thinking of the.
Kirikez.
What's that?
Kirikez, you're thinking of.
Vlad Kirikez.
You know what? No. But what I'm going to do from now is like you've got 10 seconds when it gets passed over. So the answer was Louis Zaha.
Oh, man alive.
Louis Zaha played for Lazio.
That was supposed to be the easy one, wasn't it? Frickin'.
Oh, my word.
I had no idea he was ever at Lazio.
Yeah, but Man United, Everton, Newcastle. Jesus Christ.
Louis Zaha. Fucking hell. Yeah, I knew he'd be French, but oh well.
Got on him.
All right. So Chris was Tottenham. So then Danny, you're Arsenal.
Yeah.
Let me get the Arsenal player up.
Funny thing about that is you don't think about Zaha as a Spurs player at all.
No.
He was there for a bit though, wasn't he?
Fulham.
So Danny, this player started at Marseille, then Arsenal, then Manchester City, spent some time on loan at Seville, went to Antalyaspor, played for West Ham, and finished his career at Anderlecht.
West Ham and then Anderlecht. What was the first club? Sorry? Marseille.
Marseille, who then Arsenal signed him from.
I think I know who this is. Is it Sameh Nasri?
Yeah.
Correct.
Fair play. I was well hoping he would get
Elia Dier.
Well, it's Marseille, and I remember him there. I remember him at Arsenal. I remember him at City.
Man City.
And then I remember him at West Ham. I don't remember the others, but I figured it's probably.
All right, Rory, the sort of wild card last minute players I chucked in.
Oh, no.
So this player started his career at Pescara, went to Sampdoria, to Arsenal, and spent some time on loan at Atletico Madrid.
Lucas Torreira.
Yeah.
Chris looks disenfranchised.
I had like 12 teams, man. He gave you fucking.
Well, that's easier.
That's easier. The more teams, the better.
More teams.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
To be fair, we all should have got Louis Zaha. We just got screwed by Lazio.
It was the Lazio that threw me off completely.
Dan, you know this more than anyone. As soon as you get over 7 teams, the answer is always going to be Nicholas and
Milner.
Yeah.
Milner or Anelka.
Or Robbie Keane.
Yeah.
All right.
One apiece for us.
So, Danny, Tottenham players. So this player started his career at Derby County, went to Tottenham Hotspur, spent some time on loan at Wolves, then played for Hull City, and then finished his career back at Derby County.
I know who that is.
I know who that is.
I have no idea.
Pressure's on.
Say that again. Say that again.
So he started his career at Derby County.
Oh, is it Tom Huddleston?
Tom Huddleston, correct.
Yeah. How would we have? Because if me and Rory both knew that, I was wondering how we were going to go and get the bonus point there.
Tom Huddleston, the single greatest hitter of a football I've ever seen in my time.
Tommy Teckers.
Unbelievable.
So the way it works, Danny, you get first dibs on Chris's. Rory gets first dibs on yours.
Mine. All right.
Gets first dibs on Rory's.
Okay.
All right. Who's next? Danny.
Me. Arsenal. Let's do this.
Arsenal.
It's going to be a Nelka, isn't it?
Has to at least one time.
Okay. Nelka Robbie Keane.
Yeah.
So Danny, this guy started his career at Hanover 96 B team, went to Hanover 96, went to Werder Bremen, and then to Arsenal.
I don't even know who this is. Rory knows all of them.
Jens Lehmann?
Incorrect.
Go on, Rory.
Rory,
The answer is Per Mertesacker.
the BFG.
I got a big German, but
Yeah. I thought he was going to go Ozil because he played for Werder Bremen, right?
yeah, but I knew
Real
he
Madrid. Yeah.
Real Madrid.
was at Real Madrid, and he's obviously now at a Turkish club. So
Yeah, that's true.
Rory, what do you think about Ozil? Nah, leave it later
Look,
on.
I'm not talking about it. If you have an episode dedicated to Mesut Ozil, I'll come on.
Well, hopefully during the summer we'll do the pods where we feature one particular player, and we'll have one on Ozil. That's for sure.
yeah, can we just talk for 45 minutes about his Champions League goal where he flicked over the keeper?
Yeah, against Ludogorets. I don't even know if it was Champions League. Was it?
I want to hear. I want to hear about Ozil's thoughts on Erdogan. Go on, Kevin.
Yeah.
All right, Rory.
Yes.
This guy started at Marseille, went to Arsenal, Milan, Arsenal, Palace, and then finished his career at Getafe.
Started at Marseille, Arsenal, Milan, Arsenal.
Yeah, then Palace, Getafe is where he ended.
I thought you'd be all over that, Rory.
Chris gets first dibs on this, and he looks confident.
Oh no, I have no idea. Rory knows if Rory knows a lot about it, especially if he had a crossover at Arsenal twice.
The worst thing about these games is when you know the answer, it's hard
so
to gauge
obvious.
how difficult it is.
I'm just thinking of the Getafe thing as really thrown me.
I'm trying to think who went to Milan.
I'm trying to think who went. Was it a loan to Milan or was it a?
Must have been.
Well, no. Well, I've been saying when they go on loan. So
Right. Okay. I feel like it's jumping out at me, but it's like.
I feel like we might have to put a time.
Yeah, I might have to pass. You know, Marseille, Arsenal, Milan, Arsenal, Getafe,
And Palace.
You missed Crystal Palace.
Palace. Yeah. Nah.
Last chance, Chris, to get back in the game.
The only player I can think of is Shamak.
Nah.
Incorrect.
Shamak started at Bordeaux.
Did he? All right.
I mean, I have no idea. Ali Adier.
Incorrect. It was Flamini.
Oh, of course. Oh my goodness.
Oh, of course he went to Milan.
Do you know what it is? The way you say it, Mark, it sounds like he was at Milan for like a minute.
I'm trying not to make it so obvious.
Then he had a really long
I don't
time
remember him. Does anyone else have no recollection of Flamini at Getafe?
I wouldn't.
Or Palace. I don't remember him at Palace either.
Palace, yeah.
Yeah, he was at Getafe. He played 18 times.
Tough one, that.
That is a tough one.
What's the score then? Rory's got 2 and me and Chris have 1.
Chris has, no. Rory's got 2, yeah. No one got Flamini, no one got Zaha. Yeah.
So yes or no?
Yes.
All right. So who are we back to? Chris.
Me.
So this is your last one, Chris.
All right. This is for 2 points, yeah? All right.
So this player started at Wolverhampton, went to Coventry, went to Inter Milan, spent some time on loan at Leeds, signed for Leeds, played for Tottenham, Liverpool, Tottenham, Celtic, West Ham, LA Galaxy, Aston Villa, at ATK.
Yeah. Oh my days.
He's fuming. I do hope this goes up on YouTube because your face at the minute is an absolute picture.
Just say that one more time, a bit slower, the teams.
All right. He started at Wolves, went to Coventry, Inter Milan, went on loan to Leeds, signed for Leeds, went to Tottenham, played for Liverpool, went back to Tottenham, spent some time on loan at Celtic, on loan at West Ham, played at LA Galaxy, went on loan to Aston Villa, and then finished his career at ATK.
Okay. That's funny.
Actually. You know it is.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at this game. Oh, I'm the worst.
I'm fuming.
The worst.
And it gets first dibs, doesn't he?
I know, that's why I'm fuming.
It's just clicked. It's just clicked.
Are you going to have a guess, Chris?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to say, is it Jamie Redknapp?
Incorrect. Danny?
It is the one and only Robbie Keane.
Yeah, we literally said when they have a load of clubs.
The only person that went from Spurs to Liverpool to Spurs, surely.
With me, it was that I knew as soon as he said Wolves to Coventry to Inter Milan, I started giggling.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you said earlier, when there's a load of clubs, just say Robbie Keane.
Nightmare.
Right, nice.
Got to trick myself out there. I need to get fucking mental fuck myself.
All right, come on, Mark. Let's do this.
All right.
This is the last round, by the way.
Yeah, this is Danny's last player.
I need this. I need this, and I need Rory to not get his.
So, Danny, he started at Bordeaux. He went to Arsenal. He spent time on loan at West Ham. Played for Crystal Palace and finished his career at Cardiff.
Do you know what? Danny got a pen and paper, man. That's cheating.
I'm writing it down. What? I've got a pen in my hand.
Yes.
So, Bordeaux, Arsenal, West Ham, Palace, Cardiff. That was it.
Bordeaux, Arsenal, West Ham on loan, Palace, and finished his career at Cardiff.
Rory, you just said who was at Bordeaux that went to Arsenal, and I've forgotten who you said. My mind's gone blank. Who would it? Right, forget that. Who would it have been? West Ham, Palace, Cardiff.
So Rory gets first dibs. So.
And I know he knows it because he just said it, and I can't even think who you just said.
Have you forgotten who I said?
Yeah, I have.
Oh wow!
This is what makes great listening. Is the answer's been said. Robbie Keane, and then this one.
Well, who were we talking about? And you said no. He was started at Bordeaux. Because we're talking about Marseille.
Oh no, I thought it was a time limit.
No, but some.
It's putting me off trying to remember that rather than trying to think about the teams. Right, fuck that. Bordeaux to Arsenal, West Ham, Palace, Cardiff would have been. My mind's blank.
Come on.
Just say one.
Good game.
Say a player. He played for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Legend. He's. Oh, I'll give you a clue. He's got a statue outside this.
I don't know. My mind's gone blank. I've crumbled.
Say a name.
Say it. Say it.
Gail Clichy. I don't know.
Incorrect. Rory, you said
Marouane Chamakh.
Oh, that's the one. Chamakh. Fuck's sake.
Oh.
I knew you'd said it.
He had the best, worst song in the history of Arsenal fans that started, he's not white, he's not black, he comes from a place not far from Iraq, without realising that Morocco is actually further from Iraq than London is. Awful song.
I crumbled. I was trying to remember what Rory had said, not think about the teams. Never mind.
Well, the thing is, if Rory doesn't get this right, you still got an out, surely, to draw it.
No,
He's got a bonus point.
This is
I have to flop and you have to flop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I will most certainly flop.
So, Rory, this is yours. He started at Sheffield United, spent some time on loan at Northampton, went to Tottenham, spent time on loan at Sheffield United, QPR, Aston Villa, and left Tottenham for Manchester City.
Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
Boom!
Sheffield. Lovely. Well done. Your first game and you won.
I know.
And Mark, did you have a tiebreaker?
The tiebreaker, so the link, well, one, I would have given a bonus point if anyone can tell you the link between all those players.
They all played for England. No.
Shamak,
Terrible
Walker,
haircuts. I know. They're all left-footed.
No, Kyle Walker's a right back, you nut job.
They've all scored in the Premier League.
They were all sponsored by.
Close.
So what's this?
What's the link they've all got?
They've all
Walker.
scored
They've all scored.
in the League Cup,
Yeah, Danny's almost there. They've all scored what?
Champions League.
NFA Cup final.
North London derbies.
Oh,
So,
Of course.
that's a great stat. In fact,
Yeah.
Flamini only used to score in North London derbies.
That is.
so the tiebreaker is easy. So I'd have done fastest finger first. You say your name, first one to say it
Quiz.
wins. But they all, and you can say it as soon as I start the question. But they were all goal scorers in the North London derby. So get ready. You can say your name anytime from now. One player scored for both Arsenal and Tottenham in the North London derby.
Chris.
No.
Adebayor.
Correct.
Oh, great.
There you go. Game.
I win. Woo.
Didn't Danny Rose score a goal and an own goal then? Does that not count?
That's good. Good point. Good point.
I remember his goal, absolute rocket.
Yeah.
From about 35 yards.
Lovely. Right. I think the only thing we've got left is front three, back four, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I've
good.
got to go have my dinner.
Look, I'll go first, Rory, just because I'll give you an example how to do it, and then because you clearly had a tough time doing it, so I'll go first for that reason and that reason alone. So I have to look at my phone. In my front three this week is the Avatar movie. What a terrible movie that was. It's finally gone back to the top of the list of the highest grossing movies of all time. It got taken over by Endgame. That's a Marvel movie?
Marvel, yeah.
Correct. Very good. But it was re-released recently in China and grossed $4 million to put itself back up to the top. Liverpool scored back up to the top of the all-time grossing list of movies. And I mean, I don't know. You know me. I think Avatar's a crap movie, but there you go. People like big movies with big scenes, and James Cameron has got Titanic under his belt. He's got this under his belt. Him and Disney are doing all right. Yeah. Do you like Avatar, Rory?
Never. I can honestly say I've never ever watched. It's just not my thing. Never watched an Avatar. I've never even watched the Star Wars.
Yeah, I know. I watched the new one with John Boyega, but that was it.
Yeah, it's just not my thing.
Yeah, so there you go. Also in my front three this week, all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Even the ones that don't want to be mothers. Unlucky. In my back four this week is white chocolate and ground coffee.
Oh, this was my front three back four last year, wasn't it?
Was it? What was it?
Time last year.
Was it? Well, what is it?
Inflation.
Oh, no, I forgot about that. Jesus Christ, yes. The cost of living. Yeah, the Office of National Statistics. They every year they put out, well, clearly every year, they put out a list of items that go into basically a massive list of things that people buy to judge the amount that inflation has either gone down, which it never happens, or up. And a few of the things that have gone out of the list is white chocolate bars. It's based on what people have been buying this year. And they've changed some items. I think they've put in 17 and they've added 10. They took out white chocolate, ground coffee, canteen sandwiches because no one's going out to work, so you're not going to get your prep meals and all that stuff, or your Tesco meal deal. And lamb shoulder on the bone. Why does no one like lamb in COVID? Is that, I don't know. I love lamb.
Maybe because people go out to eat it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously it's got to be that. Who's making lamb shoulder every day?
Yeah, who's doing?
Not
That's the
every
sort of
day.
thing. That's the sort of thing Chris would try and pull off.
Not every day, but on a Sunday. Come on now.
To be fair, we've had a lamb shoulder once on the Sunday for a roast. It's lovely.
There you go, you muppet.
Chris is always cooking weird meat, just for the listeners.
That's like
his thing. He's ordering elk this week, I believe.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan told him to.
No, I've got a crocodile burger in the freezer ready to go. In the things that are in the inflation list is hand sanitizer, men's jogging bottoms, hand weights, and smartwatches. So everything that Mark has.
How's a smartwatch got in like the commodities list?
I literally bought one a couple of weeks ago, so they're right.
This list ain't stupid, you know. Look at this. They know. Yeah, so there you go. So that is in my back for this week.
What one did you get, Mark?
The Galaxy Smartwatch 3.
Nice.
How much did that set? How much did that set you back?
It's a sponsor of ours.
I don't know. 2 something.
Ooh, balling.
No wonder the Daily Mail will find out, and the Office of National Statistics are writing about it.
Yeah, that's the biggest purchase of the year.
No, government money.
Go on, Rory. Do you want to have a go, or do you want Danny or Mark to...
No, I want to hear Danny and Mark. Sorry, I've just been joined by my puppy that joined us this week.
You got a puppy?
I've got a puppy.
Oh, that's it.
Back 4.
Yeah. In my front 3 this week is Walthamstow Dog Holmes.
Yeah.
Dogs are for Christmas, not just for life or whatever it is. Go on, Dan. Whose phone keeps vibrating? It's pissing me off.
Mine, sorry. My front 3 this week is the 21st of March. Because there are 2 awesome things happening on the 21st of March. One, Line of Duty is being released again.
Yeah, Ben Coppers. Number 2, Drive to Survive, the new Formula 1 documentary, is also being released on that day. So I'm going to be seriously busy this weekend. So I'm very excited because my 2 favourite documentaries, which they're not. What's your wife going to do?
She's going to join me in watching them. She also loves those 2 programs. So we're good.
She does.
No, she genuinely does. That's why we're excited, because it's the only 2 things we actually watch together. And that's my back 4. I mean, the list was kind of endless this week. There was so much going on. We haven't talked about the Royals. We haven't talked about Piers Morgan. We haven't talked about FI. We haven't talked about loads of stuff. So instead, I was going to go with what's his name? The CEO of what's his name? The CEO of Football Index.
Mike Bowen.
Mike Bowen, the biggest what is turning out to be the biggest scandal in British gambling history, they say.
The legend.
And that is the big hustle.
Yeah. Honestly, the amount of money between us 4, mainly Danny's, that we...
I can't believe, as a group, we've lost £100,000 in Football Index. As a group.
As a group, we've lost 100 grand. Between me, Mark, and Chris, we've lost 1,500 quid.
There's now a class action lawsuit. There's 7,000 Football Index traders who have filed a class action lawsuit. It's going to court. It's going to be talked about in Parliament. It is, big news. It's all over everywhere. Daily Mail are even interested. So,
fairness to Football Index, the small print was, you're actually placing a bet that player would be worth more in 3 years. So they'll just say he's not.
Yeah, the lawsuit's not about that. The lawsuit is about where's the money gone, because they should have millions of pounds in the bank, and now they've just gone into administration for having no money. But their terms also say they have to hold something like 60% of the value of every player in cash in a bank, so in case of insolvency, and they've got no money now. So it's like, well, hold on, where's all the money? And they think they've been siphoning it off to another company. So,
but would a company like that, and I don't know if it's the same with other sort of betting apps, is there an insurance that they can have for this kind of stuff to pay people out? There has to be some kind of policy you can get.
Well, no, this is why they've gone into administration, because we don't know if they're broke. We'll find out next week whenever the administrators tell us what's what. The thing is, you don't know. Well, you don't know if they've gone into administration because the Gambling Commission revoked their license, which did happen. or because they're broke, which might be true, or because they wanted to stop the rot early. They might have a ton of money in the bank, in which case, but they can't get their license back, in which case they could pay everyone their cash balances and potentially some deposit value back. We don't know. We don't know what the state of their finances are, but we know that there's been some dodgy stuff going on, and it's now being investigated. And the head of the gambling commission resigned today.
What Danny didn't tell us is that he was actually part of the management board, and that's why he's flown off.
That's why he's in the
Barbados.
That's why he's in the Caribbean. What
Exactly.
can I just say something on that?
No.
Okay.
Go on.
So what legitimised the whole thing for me, other than Danny Gazzett telling me that it was a great idea to put money in there, was that actually 2 or 3 football clubs are being sponsored on the front of their shirt by Football Index, as well as Nottingham Forest and QPR, as well as like the back page of 442 magazine, which I subscribe to, have a massive full page spread of Football Index. And I think that's what has to be looked at in the long term. The fact that it was so legitimised by main, like, you know, big football clubs in their community.
They spent millions. They had a TalkSport section, like every week on TalkSport, there was a Football Index section. Yeah.
You know, all of these football clubs and publications that we trust as consumers were legitimising this thing, which basically just turned out to be being run by a couple of absolute shysters.
Yeah, because that's what you're saying. The guy resigned today, Danny, not because he's ashamed, but because he can retire now.
Yeah, well, he's actually an original investor of index plans.
Yeah.
Oh, did the honourable thing and resign? It's like, well,
yeah. What, to your yacht in Saint Tropez? At least he might send Danny a thank you note for the yacht.
I know, right? Fucker.
Go on, Mark.
No, I'll be quick. And again, trying to avoid some of the news this week that's been pretty slow.
Did you say it was pretty slow? Carry on.
Anyway, mine's all boxing related. So front three this week. The deal's been signed. Joshua Fury. That's hurdle 1 of probably about another 100 before the fight goes ahead. But that's good news. Let's face it, we all want to see that fight.
Like, tell you who has a better chance.
You still team AJ?
I think Fury wins, but I don't think it's as one-sided as people think.
Fury's Mark's cousin.
No, but like the thing that sometimes you're like, I think he wins, but he wins a tough fight. Like the way people talk about Fury AJ is that Fury goes in and just puts on a masterclass. AJ gets nowhere near him, and it's 12-0 in rounds. And I'm like, it's not going to be that one-sided. But I still think he wins. But
it's going to be a brilliant, even for someone like myself who's not a massive boxing fan, it's going to be a huge spectacle for any sports fan. And it's just what this summer needs, I think. I'm just hoping that they have it somewhere sensible and they don't have it like in a boat in the Arabian Sea or something.
To be honest, if they have it like in Saudi again or whatever, as long as it's a reasonable time and you can make a night of it, because
yeah, that's true.
Like, we're not going to go to it. We're going to watch it on Sky Sports streaming somewhere.
I think a reasonable time would be like 10 a.m. Do you know what I mean? Like with breakfast. It'd be quite nice. Do you know what I mean? Like you've just woken up. There's not much sport on. You might want to get on it in the evening, but if you had it in the morning during breakfast, you'd be all right with
that. I remember before they were famous, Joseph Parker fought AJ for Ruiz, and that was on Sunday morning.
It was in New Zealand or something.
Well, it was Sunday Supplement or the boxing. I was like, let me watch this. And I was like, actually, Sunday morning boxing was quite nice.
Yeah.
I've got a mate who lives in New Zealand who watches all of his MMA and boxing on a Sunday morning, which I just find really funny, but that's his Sunday. So
I watch all my MMA on Sunday morning. I had to avoid all social media this Sunday because I didn't get to watch it till quite late. So nearer the time, can we shout out my mate's boxing podcast as well? Because they'll be covering.
Fan of the show, Charlie Griffin, Punch Perfect podcast.
Yeah,
it's always cool. I'll give it a listen.
Yeah, it's decent. The two lads that run it are mates of mine, and they put a lot into it, and it's really decent.
Jamie Bourne's really good in it. He's the one you want to watch.
Yeah, that's true.
The thing is, it's like a bit like other sports. It's like it's suffering a bit at the minute, so it's hard to get like super excited about boxing. I mean, you know, the big major fights will wait until the end of the year when they can get some fans back. So this is one to look forward to. All right, back four quickly. Let's just pour one out for super marvelous Marvin Hagler. So he died this week. And if you guys don't know who he is, Hagler v Hearns is widely regarded as one of the best rounds of boxing there is. It was only a 3-round fight, but it's a war. So it doesn't take much of your time. I would definitely recommend going on YouTube and watching Hagler v Hearns. But yeah, let's pull one out. There we go.
Tough. Rory, front 3, back 4. Give it to us.
Okay, bear in mind I'm very much doing this on the fly because when I voice noted Chris earlier on today, sorry, that's my puppy just tearing up my cat.
Try not to say anything sexist, racist, or controversial. Because
and also say it in about 3 minutes because my dinner's getting cold.
Yeah. Okay. So front 3, the Minneapolis State Commission have just said that they want the NFL season next year to be played with full capacity. So we had an NFL season. Those of you who don't know, I'm a massive NFL fan. We had an NFL season with no fans last year. Minneapolis State have just come out. The state of Minneapolis has said they hope to have full fans back in by the time the season starts in September. So that's massive.
And also, if you want to follow Rory on Twitter, it's at Big UK Viking Fan 1143.
That's a joke, by the way. What was the next one?
Thanks.
Back 4. Is back 4 the one you don't like?
Yeah.
Whatever you like, mate.
Back 4. The Metropolitan Police Commissioner Cressida Dick. Yeah, Dick by name, Dick by nature.
Oh. Please go on, please.
Just her handling of everything this week is pretty shameful.
Are you saying that's because she's a woman? Jesus Christ, Rory.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm not allowed to because Mark's already told me nothing sexist or anything like that. But no, I just think that this country's in a bit of a mess at the minute, and I think the behaviour of the old Bill on Saturday night was not particularly anything to be proud of.
Now we're getting into it, yeah. Like they're passing a bill this week. Yeah. That means if you thought the police were bad now.
I love it. Well, that's what's funny about it, because Priti Patel was going, how dare Cressida do this, and how the police dare they do this, and it's just like the next morning she's like, all right, we're putting a commission where if anyone goes out and protests against anything, you'll be locked up for 10 years. Like,
yeah, I know. Outrageous. And Sadiq Khan came out as well and did his usual, like...
he just goes with whatever's trending.
Yeah.
The guy, he annoys me. Like, I thought I voted for the bloody guy.
Of course you did.
I don't like him.
Of course you did.
Me neither.
Isn't it? He voted for Corbyn. It's Corbynista right here. Well,
yeah.
My dinner's getting cold.
All right, lovely. Right, good stuff.
All right, thanks for having me, lads.
That's all right. It was funny, actually, because earlier on, just last thing, you said to me, do you know what? I'm just going to sit back and not say much and let the boys just stay out.
We didn't get a word in edgeways, did we not?
Sorry, guys.
Next week, we will be surplus to requirements.
The one-man show, Rory.
I'll just leave the Zoom on and press record. All right. See you guys next week.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.